Hey, what you doing down there?
I am trying to determine where the tubing that runs from the head to the holding tank is located in preparation for the big change out tomorrow. So the tubing that runs from the head to the tank here, I think it's the original tubing, and it's starting to kind of give off an odor. Not really like a waste odor, but definitely kind of like an odd, strange odor. So we want to replace that just to, you know, reduce cabin odors and all that. But I also identified that this white one down here, if you can see it, that's the vent tube, and that one also has quite a bit of odor coming off of it as well. Actually in here, pass me the camera, Sid. Hopefully it doesn't get too close that it gets blurry, but there's a dark black tube up in there that is coming from the head. And then there's actually another one right here, and that runs to the, there's a little T connection, and this is the outlet of the tank, and that runs both to the macerator as well as here to the pump out there on the side of the boat. So you can do kind of scratch and sniff with these to see which ones are stinky. Luckily the one that runs to the macerator doesn't really smell, so it doesn't seem like that one needs to be replaced. But this one here, this white one, definitely is pretty stinky, as well as the one that runs from the head to the holding tank. And I think that's because we haven't ever used the macerator, and the only time we use the tubing to pump out the boat is when we're pumping out the boat. So it's not like stuff just regularly sits in there. So we're looking pretty good for tomorrow. I just wanted to get a feel for it while it's still light out before we actually start the big switch out tomorrow. So the plan is to essentially disconnect at the head and connect on with a kind of like a nipple connector, the new tube, so that we can feed through the new one while also removing the old one simultaneously. And of course we don't want to make, we definitely don't want to have any waste leak out because it's very hard areas to get to clean. So that's going to be our goal for tomorrow, because we definitely don't want any poopies in spot that we can't get to, right, Sid?
Yeah, we're gonna put something down.
Yeah.
Probably. Or at least attempt to.
Tyvek suits.
Yeah.
Suit it up, baby.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We've begun the process. Here's my little back table I made with all of our goodies.
Surgeon Ryan here, working on the toilet. Just about to crack open or crack off the old sanitary hose and hope that nothing comes out. But we got a lot of towels and absorbent stuff here just in case, so we shall see. Well, we so far we have disconnected the old tube from the head macerator here, and we've reconnected the new one. You can see here the Raritan Saniflex odor shield with the blue stripe. What we did, if you pan in here, Sid, is we have connected them together with that nipple, and then I went ahead and put some gauze around them just to kind of uniform the connection, because we have those hose clamps as well, and then duct taped it around just so it's kind of a smooth, like all, you know, singular piece of tubing. That way hopefully that assists it in threading through you know, whatever we have under the boat here, or under the some of the for instance, you can see we took up the washer there. Hopefully that'll assist it in kind of threading through without the hose clamps getting caught on stuff with their screws and rough edges and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can, I'm gonna pull on that end, and Sid's gonna push on this end, see if we can get it through this weird little area, because there's a kind of like curves and loops, I think, somewhere underneath this wet locker, but there is really no access for us to get behind it. Only way I can get in there is if I cut a hole in the wood over here and then replaced it with you know, like one of those easy access panels that you can open up later on. So that's an option if it comes to it. So see if we can get it through though without having to do that. All right, we are now what, on hour probably 3, and I think so. It's like noon. We got the boat pumped out around 9:30. Yeah, it's been like 2.5. So unfortunately we had to get all the way back there, take out the panel that's underneath that little locker and the wall to access the sanitary hose. You can see we've obviously taken up the washer, and then I also disconnected the sanitary hose out aft where it connects into the holding tank. So I was able to pull it through that way. The problem is it doesn't really have any flex at all, so if you don't disconnect it from where it ends, you can't really force the hose anywhere. So you kind of have to like shimmy it along this rowel. So it's like we have to push it here a little bit, pull it there a little bit, pull it there a little bit, and then I pull it out up top. So it's kind of like a long process, but we're slowly making progress. So hopefully we can, apparently one of the harder parts is getting it through this little locker area. So hopefully we can get it through there. That's what we're gonna try out now.
Yeah. Can I talk about my drape?
What's that?
My drape.
Oh yeah, show them.
So this is a side drape, basically, and it's got stickies on this end that I took off, about this long, and I stuck it down to the side mattress so it won't move, especially while we're moving.
Yeah.
And it's got these little Velcro guys that are good, so if we have tools or something, just hunker them down, do our thing, just pull them out.
Look at that.
And then put them back so they're nice and safe.
And they're sticky.
So you don't lose them. So you're not really like, where's my tools? It's right here. So you put it back.
You can see it's a mess right now. It's usually where we sleep. We had to take everything out of that locker and, you know, move everything around. So put the mat down just so we don't get the mattress dirty at all, since we are dealing with the sanitary hose.
Nice.
Good job, Pumpkin.
Thank you. Do I look disheveled? Because I am.
Oh man, it's hard from breathing heavy. It's literally like a CrossFit workout getting this thing through. But you can see we've now officially have gotten the new tube around the bend here, and we've got a decent amount out up on the deck. Basically we got Sid here. She kind of pulls on it this way, which, you know, takes it in from down there, and I pull it up on top of the deck up there, and kind of have a little system going. And sometimes I'll come down and shimmy this, push this through for Sid to get some more. But see how this thing starts to bend too much when you get too much slack in it. So
it hits the wall.
Yeah, that's why we gotta kind of shimmy it out from up top. Okay, so it is a few days later. We were in a very big rush to get out the door to go hang out with some friends after we finished it up and showered. But as you can see, we do have the sanitary hose there. As mentioned, it runs through here, down under our washer system, under all of these kind of cabinets here, and then up to the holding tank in the back. So far, it definitely has seemed to reduce the odor coming off a decent amount. We still also have to replace the other hose for the vent, which actually is very similar to this hose now that I look at it. Probably the same material and thickness of hosing. But we'll have to replace that vent hose as well as potentially some of the macerator and pump out hoses. But if you all are having any sort of kind of odor issues within your boat due to the sanitary hoses, definitely recommend changing them out because it's made the boat itself smell a lot cleaner and fresher, even with just, you know, replacing this one very large long section of tubing and still having to replace some of the others.
Don't show that to the people. Hello, welcome to my crib. My name is what's a sorority name? My name's Brittney. This is my crib and my voice that I lost.
Why'd you lose it?
Well, I think I was sick, and then I started drinking a little too soon after I got better. And this is what we're left with.
Sounds good. Doing a little bit of spring cleaning here, as you can see. Unfortunately, I need to reseal some things on the water tank because when we overfill it, it leaks around the access little kind of screw where you can open up and get into the water tank. So definitely need to silicone that, but we ended up overfilling the water tank a little bit, so that got a little wet, so we just had it up right now on an air duct with a fan there. So figured while we have everything out, we're kind of just going through and trying to identify what can go into storage and what will stay on the boat. So we've kind of just turned this area into storage, to be honest. We've actually gotten rid of those pillows that are in storage, or the quote-unquote mattress that was in here. So when we have guests, we just have them sleep on the table here. This table goes down into a bed. So that's kind of what we have that set up. And we're just trying to, over the past year and a half or so, we've kind of just accumulated things, and I've kind of realized that if we haven't used it for a year, we probably ain't going to use it in the next year. So makes sense to try to
get out of
here.
Yeah. Minimize. Yeah, like this.
All this clutter.
Like this. You need this many rubber bands?
Rubber band ball? I don't know, I haven't used a rubber band yet.
If this has been like this since you were in college, I don't think we're gonna use them. I think it'd be good to just maybe take a couple off, put them in a little thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that just declutters, like, visually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're surprised, like, how much space, like, little things like this take up.
Yeah, it's
when it's all together.
All the little knickknacks we got.
Yeah, like...
Knickknack City.
Yeah.
Alright friends, well, we are out here in the cockpit right now, and unfortunately we had some rain come through the under the base of the kind of steering column here. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but what I did last season was I put down some of this kind of like sticky gummy type, I believe it's some sort of petroleum based product. Unfortunately, you can see it gathers a lot of like hair and crust and dirt and stuff, so it kind of looks nasty. Plus, it seems like it wasn't fully sealing this gap under here. So what I'm going to do is take it all out, and we have some just some standard GE silicone here. We're going to go around this and basically just fill this in with silicone, and hopefully that will fix a lot of those leaks that we've had kind of down under this area. Alright, well, we got all of the, it was butyl tape that was in there. We got all that out. I went ahead and scrubbed it, you know, kind of as best I could. Still a little bit of there, a little bit of that butyl tape still in there, but we've got our silicone loaded up in our caulk gun, and we're gonna go ahead and silicone this up.
Hello. So we just caulked this. What is this?
We siliconed it.
Siliconed?
I actually don't know what it's called. I said in the video earlier. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what this is called. I called it the steering column, which I don't think is correct.
Isn't it the helm?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the helm, but I don't know what the actual like podium thing is called.
Podium. Yeah, so we siliconed it so we don't get water dripping on our heads.
Yep. So there we go. We're all siliconed up. Hopefully this fixes the water issue. And tomorrow I'm going to tackle a couple other ones that seem to have sort of re-leaking again now that winter has passed, probably from freezing and expansion and all that stuff. So we'll be doing that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
You were paying attention?
No, I wasn't. Well,
so I am fairly certain we are looking at one of the leak culprits. So right in this area here, there was a hole, actually right on the tip of the screwdriver. Here, if I let the sun come in, you can probably see it right about there. And I believe this was allowing water to come in through the head area. And unfortunately, you can see it also created a lot of stress fractures from when the water was getting in there and freezing and thawing. So this one little thing is kind of making me lean towards wanting to use a wrap next winter. But we'll think about that. But you can tell I can push on it. You probably can't see it in the video, but I can feel it move up and down just a little bit. So definitely kind of like pushed outwards. And that's probably from the water. And then the other spot, there are one or two like little spots along the seam of this Portlight here, but the other spot is where our main leak is coming from, which is the one coming out of that light socket. if you all remember. And I'm fairly confident it is underneath this screw here. There is a tiny little, I have to focus on the reflection. There we go. Right at the tip of the screwdriver there's a little hole in the fiberglass. Looks like it cracked out last time the screw was screwed in. And I believe that is what is allowing the water to get in this area and then drip down in here through that light socket, which is actually probably right around this area. I think, maybe back a little bit further. But either way, there's definitely a hole in there, and it definitely needs to be sealed up. So go ahead and undo the screw, and we have our trusty little silicone there that I'm going to use to seal it up. Now, it's not as much of a hole as I thought, but I'm wondering if it still is allowing the water to get into the threads and then drip down in. It is a lot of water that comes out, so I don't feel like it's potentially this, but we'll seal this up, at least since you could see the hole exposed, so there was definitely some water getting in there, and see if that helps during the next big rain.